it's Jo here, founder of Freckles, and this week I wanted to briefly run through the importance of having a contract. In this video, I'm not going to go through every aspect of the contract. I'm actually going to break out some of the really important things that you need to know and be aware of, and what you might also want to know the kind of calculations behind, so to speak, in like other videos. But in this one, I just want to say how important it is to have a contract. So when you work as a nanny, you must be employed. Now, in all my years of nannying and running Freckles, I have only ever had one situation where I've had somebody who can actually be a self-employed nanny. And she had to get special dispensation from HMRC, so she had to ring them and explain. And she also worked for 3 families consecutively, so she had 3 families across her week, and that meant she was eligible to become self-employed and manage her tax on her own. But in all other situations, you have to be an employee, and that is a legal requirement. And it's your employer, so your family's responsibility to get you set up on payroll, but it's also really important you know where you stand and you know the questions to ask and the things to be aware of. Now, as an employee, it's the same as in any other company. They're going to have a contract. It's going to tell them how much holiday they get. It's going to tell them what their gross salary is. It's going to tell them if they're entitled to sick pay. It's going to outline their hours and the days that they're due to work. It's going to outline their duties as well. It's also going to go through kind of if there is an issue, so kind of a disciplinary, and finally it's going to give them their notice period. Now that is what happens in any job, and it's the same in nannying, and that's something that you need to have. Now, if you're a nanny with us, if you're one of our clients, we have a sort of template contract that we have had drawn up by a lawyer and that we personalise for every individual. And I'm going to make that available to you guys as kind of a sort of blank template, so to speak, so that you can download it and use that and take it with you. And now, if you're with another agency, they should be doing the same thing that most agencies do. The key thing is if you're going in privately. So if you're a private nanny, so you've got your job through a recommendation or through someone you know, or through a platform like directly with the parents, that's where you really need to know your rights and you need to have something to take to them, because quite often they might not know as well. Bearing in mind, for a lot of families, you know, taking on a nanny is something that they need to do to kind of enable them to go back to work maybe, but they don't necessarily know the intricacies and the ins and outs of being an employer and the responsibilities that holds. So actually it is really good if you have that knowledge yourself. So as I mentioned, there are all those key aspects, those key things in there. So holidays, which is really important. You are entitled to paid holiday regardless of the amount of hours or days you work per week, all right? It's really important. You need to have your notice periods drawn up in there. So sort of a normal contract will be about 4 weeks. Some clients need an 8-week notice period. It's worth reading and checking. If they're providing you with something, you need to know what that is, because you can't get out of that any quicker. So you need to have your notice periods, you will have your holiday, you need to have your salary in there, you need to also have your days and hours, and finally you must have your duties. But you don't want them being like really specifically laid out, because you've got to have, like with ours we put like loads of flex in there, but you want to know roughly what you're meant to be doing. You say you're not meant to be cleaning, you just do, you know, housekeeping, laundry, childcare stuff, and suddenly you get to a point where you're already scrubbing bathrooms. Like, you might say that's not in my contract, that's not something I'm okay with, and that's okay. It's okay to have those discussions with your employer. So really important to have a contract. I'm going to prepare the template one for you, so you can look at it and take it away, you know, download it and use it. Obviously you'll need to personalise it. It's not a guarantee from us, like it is just there to kind of help you and support you, and also which sections are really gonna, you know, you need to raise or be asking questions about. And we'll go through some of the other sections in like subsequent videos. Obviously, if you have any questions at the moment, just get in touch and let me know. I'm here to help. But that's it from me this week. Just make sure you have a contract, and I will be back next week with another video on anything and everything to do with nannying, childcare and children.